And do a roll call first, right?
Yes, that's right. Are we ready for
Okay,
it?
you have a quorum, and I'm going to record this.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So you can start now.
All right then. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I'm going to do a roll call. Gina.
Yes.
Cynthia's not present. Mike.
Yes.
Frank.
Here.
Anne's sick. Greg's not present. I'm here. And Iris. Iris? She's here.
Here.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. All right, then that's good. Let's go to public comment. Do I have a list of people who are presenting?
You may ask.
All right, let's see. All right, Liz, you're present. Liz Vassilides?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Would you like to make your personal presentation?
Sure. So just to clarify, am I able to do 3 minutes personally and then 3 minutes for the special education?
No. What you could do, the bylaws say that any discussion needs to be constrained to the items on the agenda. However, we can be a little more liberal than that. But the bylaws also indicate that it's individuals who make presentations, not organizations.
Okay, so CPAC should not address the board in the meeting.
No, they shouldn't. What they need to do is to make, there's a official procedure by which they go through one of the officers of the schools, then to, I think then to Richard, I think eventually, and then I could bring it to the board later if things don't resolve themselves. But it needs to go through the procedures which are laid out.
Oh, okay, yeah, we just wanted to update the board about special education, but that's okay. I can talk about just personally as a parent. So hi, my name is Liz. I have 3 kids at the Chinese school, and they have been there for about 9 years. I am talking today about transportation. I know it's on the agenda, and I would say about 3 years ago, I got in touch with Richard and started asking him questions about getting this rebate from the state once I contacted DESE and learned that it was possible. And it's taken, I'm glad that we're finally here after 3 years talking about at least the potential of doing it. But I just want to bring up something that the transportation amendment or the program is being voted on today without parents actually ever able to give their input. So we got a survey yesterday asking us about transportation. There's no place to comment. There's no question about paying. I mean, I think the main issue is that transportation is frankly too expensive for middle class parents and parents who are on kids go to the school. So I think when we're finding a cost, not asking the question about what parents think would be or if the current situation is working.
I've lost her. Liz, I've lost you. Could you hold on for a second? Let's see if I can get you back.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know. It's the technology. I'm sorry.
Right. Keep going?
Yeah, I think you should start. I think you should keep going. Would you speak just a little slower and clearer? I'm technically deaf, but I can. Sure. I can usually make things out when.
Yes. So, I guess the question, the concern I have about the survey is we're voting on the transportation, which without asking parents or getting parent feedback about the transportation. So we got the survey yesterday. Obviously, the board won't get any feedback from parents through the survey until after you voted on it. There's also no part in the survey that asks parents about the actual cost-effective nature of making a better plan. Parents mostly think that the bus is very expensive, especially if you're regional and you're paying for many kids. One of the other things I've asked Richard to do, if we decide not to do this regional plan, we get reimbursement and reduce, the number of cities, is I've asked Richard a number of times, other charter schools cap the amount of bus fees for families. So if you have multiple kids, you could cap the amount of fees that they pay. If you have 3 and 4 kids, you're sometimes paying $600, $800 a month to go to a public school. So that's another possibility I've requested. We also still have the issue of late bus. I know that we talk about that one of the hypotheses is that in order to provide for this potential regional plan that would be free for students, which would be amazing for us, you'd have to cut all these services. I don't know that that's true. I mean, the parents pay to go to any of the...
Yes, you did break up earlier. Let you go a little longer, but we need to wind it up. Please continue, but I need to...
Okay.
I need to, yeah.
Yes, late bus for sports. Unless you're providing a bus, people who are on free busing cannot get up there to even access the sports. So we still have an access issue. It's expense for people who live far away. People who get free busing still have to pay for transportation to access activities and extracurriculars. I don't even think there are any really unless you pay for sports, and many of us cannot access that without a late bus to Springfield. So I think the transportation, I'm hopeful that you will pass it. Thank you. It's very important for us.
I understand. Thank you. All right, let's see. Who's the next person on the list? Sorry. Okay. Erin, are you prepared to talk?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name's Erin McCarthy. I'm a resident of Granby. I have a child at the school. I also wanted to touch on transportation. I am concerned. I would like to echo Liz's concerns about parent feedback and engagement. I am a little disappointed that we weren't asked to provide feedback until this week, considering that the board was asked in February to develop a transportation plan, and now we're voting tonight, and you won't hear what parents have to say until next week, as the deadline for the survey is December 24th. So again, to us, it looks like the board is not engaging with parents or not caring what we have to say or what matters, when there's been months and months where you could have collected our feedback. And I just want to also note that I am strongly in favor of a plan that would, a transportation plan that would apply or be eligible for state reimbursement. I think that's a really important equity issue at the school, particularly when the school is still below comparable district levels and state levels for some key student populations like special education, low income, high needs students, and certain racial groups. Free transportation is an access issue and an equity issue. So middle income families may not be able to access this school if they're required to pay $200 a month per child. So I really do hope that the board is taking this requirement and mandate by the state to develop a reimbursement eligible plan very seriously, because it affects a lot of families and can determine whether a family can attend this school or not. And I just don't feel like that should be a factor when it's a public school that touts having a big region and being a model of accessibility. So I do hope, even though you have not been able to hear what parents have to say on this issue, I do hope that you consider access and accessibility and affordability in this plan, and that just like PVPA did in a pretty short amount of time, they executed a plan this fall, and I believe they were told the same time as we were, and now it's happening. So I hope that PVCICS can do something similar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see. I'm sorry. All right. Henry Chen.
Yeah, hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a parent of a second grader and a future kindergartner will be starting in 2027. And I appreciate having this opportunity to address the board. I want to thank Principal Wang for circulating the transportation survey and educating us on the very real trade-offs involved in expanding busing. I think we can all agree that the current transportation plan isn't perfect, but I do not support a proposal that would require a massive reallocation of the school's limited budget away from academics for a questionable benefit. Personally, I would love to have a bus stop 2 miles from my house, but if access to a turnkey transportation option was my top priority, I would simply have my kids go to a local public school. Instead, my partner and I made the deliberate choice to send our child to PVCICS, despite the inconvenience of extra transportation logistics. Every family in this community has made that choice. And what concerns me about the discussions I've been reading about this transportation plan is that there is a vocal minority within our community that is abandoning our shared values and playing a zero-sum game to maximize their personal convenience, regardless of the downstream effects on other families or the school's core mission. They are so fixated on getting a bus stop 2 miles away from their home that they're willing to cut spending on teachers and staff, reduce resources for curriculum and extracurriculars, and exclude entire regions of families from our community by shrinking the school's regional service. I think transportation matters, but I do not think it could come at the expense of our school's academic mission or the integrity of our community. Spending up to 18% of the budget to placate those demanding special treatment will be committing education malpractice. Any changes to the transportation plan must strengthen our community. And to me, that means attracting and retaining quality teachers with competitive pay, providing services and extracurriculars to our students, and preserving access for the full current regional service, not cutting families out just to benefit a few. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's fine. Let's see.
That's it.
There's nobody else.
I'll
Right?
ask if anybody else wants.
Is there anybody else who hasn't submitted or we haven't received?
I actually did submit to comment. This is Rachel Fiore.
Who are we talking about? Sorry.
Rachel
Who's
Fiore?
It's right.
Oh, Rachel. Okay.
Hey.
Hi. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Rachel Fiore from Springfield. I don't have a lot to share tonight that hasn't already been shared about the transportation, but I do have concerns about the accessibility of the school. I have concerns about it becoming more accessible for higher needs populations because of how it's being handled right now. And I think that the board really you guys really need to engage with parents about access. You guys tout all this stuff about being accessible and being the top, top scoring. But you know what? Like, I know why you guys have the top scores, because you try to get rid of kids. It's happening to me right now. I think you guys really need to look at how much the school is spending on legal fees right now, because it is offensive how much more this school is willing to spend on getting rid of a kid than supporting them. It is unbelievable, the ethical actions of your lawyer, and that, I know for a fact that all of your leaders know exactly what is happening because they're CC'd on all of the emails. I've been accused of making up my son's medical condition. I have
We've got to be careful. Excuse me, sir. You've got to be careful about talking about actual pupils.
Actually, I have the right to share.
You have, but you have to be careful.
I have to be careful. I have free speech. That's what this is. This is an open meeting. This isn't a dictatorship. It's not an elite school. This is a public school. And I have been looking at Know Your Rights students with disabilities in charter schools for 2 years. It's on my kitchen cabinet. And you know, the laws say one thing, but it is not what I've experienced. And it is not what many families that I've spoken to have experienced. And I just cannot believe that this is, you know, I'm not coming here for fun. I'm not coming here because, you know, I want the school to fold or something. You know, I'm coming here and saying the same thing because you're putting the school at risk, and people should care about that. They should also care that, like, you know, kids who need help and support are not getting it here and are being turned away.
Close your sentences.
Excuse me?
We need to end it. You're over your.
I'm over my 3 minutes. Okay. Well, so I'll end with one sentence from the United States Department of Education, and it says a charter school may not counsel out, i.e. try to convince a student or parents that the student should not attend or continue to attend the school because the student has a disability. That is exactly what has happened to my family. It's exactly what happened to those families in 2016.
I need to end it
and
at this
it's
point.
Still happening to other families.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. There is no more public comment out there. I don't see it on the screen. All right, administrative items. We have the minutes that we need to take a look at. Okay, fair enough. October the 30th minutes. Has every board member had time to focus on reading the minutes? I need a motion to have the motions accepted.
Motion to accept the October 30th minutes as written.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, do I have any discussion at all? I hear none. In that case, we go to the vote. Let's see. Gina?
Yes.
Okay. Mike?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Charles, yes. And Iris?
Yes.
Has Anne or Greg or Cynthia come on board? Okay, then it's unanimous. Thank you. The next one is the all right. Okay. We have an open session meeting draft December the 11th. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
I move to accept the minutes of the open session for December 11th.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second, Gina.
Any second? Any comments? All right, we'll move to the vote then. Gina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
I say yes. Iris?
Yes.
Anybody else that's joined us? No, it's unanimous. Thank you. Let's see. All right, now we go to the charter member conditions, and we have 10 minutes for that.
Okay, and I'll give an update.
Yes, would you?
I forwarded a draft version of a portion of a report for the transportation condition. Basically, we're trying to create reports to submit by the end of the month. We have a lot of material in that regard. There are some additional information that's going to become available through the survey and stuff like that. And so we're looking for a way to sort of close this out without necessarily having an additional meeting to do this. And so what I'm suggesting is that, I mean, the material that's going to be in the reports is all stuff you've seen already one way or another at a board meeting or an executive session or whatever. And so I'd like the board to decide either you can have an additional meeting at the end of the month to review the final drafts, or you can delegate the authority to the chair to have him oversee the production of the final drafts of the reports. And again, these are all just to respond to provide information around the conditions that that are in effect towards the school. And clearly this would include the transportation condition and also sort of discussing some of the governance material as well. And it's up to you whether you want to have a motion to let the chair oversee this and personally take charge of it, or if you wanted to have a small group do it. I am told that if a small group does it, that it may require having it may complicate the process in terms of the level of oversight. You might as well just have another board meeting. So it's your call about how you want to proceed. The material that I sent you specifically addressed high needs populations. And just as an aside, one of the things you learn when you review the information closely is that actually PVCICS has been very effective at recruiting high needs students. The challenges we faced is that parents, particularly in kindergarten, have been hesitant to put students onto the bus. And so from remote areas, and so we don't see, and Charles Branch sort of interviewed parents and found that with the challenge we faced recruiting parents from some of the urban areas was that it's a long bus ride. If the child gets sick, they have to drive to Hadley to pick up the child, and they're not inclined to do that. They're much more inclined to do that in 6th and 9th grade. So we see very high recruitment of high need students in 6th and 9th grade and lower numbers in 9th grade, kindergarten rather. And the other challenge we face is that the state metrics, when they look at high need students, they look at how many people, what percentage of your student population is high needs. And if you graduate students out of services because you have a strong educational program, your number goes down. And rather than applauding the fact that the school is doing a good job educating high need students, which we do, this MCAS results show that, and the state reporting shows that, rather than saying you're doing a great job, they say, oh, you don't have enough high need students, you need to do a better job recruiting. And so what the state does, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so part of the report is going to focus on the need for the state to really have better metrics for deciding whether the school is meeting its objectives. And the state law requires you to recruit students, which we do. And the numbers show we do that for 6th and 9th grade in particular. And again, the state metrics doesn't really look at that. What the state evaluates on us is, again, the percentage students there. And so we need to sort of educate the state about the flaws in their metrics. Because I think that if you scratch the surface, you find PVCS does a great job.
But again, we need a motion.
But again, you guys need to decide how do you want to proceed. And I would encourage just delegating this to the chair and letting him oversee the production of the final reports.
Okay, so I need a motion. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion. I make a motion and delegate it to the chair.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, discussion.
Okay, I have a question. So if the chair will complete and submit the transportation report that has been requested or required by the department, by DESE, before December 31st.
Yes.
There is also a governance report?
The intention is to report on all the conditions. There'll be documentation submitted to the state in responsive to those conditions.
Also by the 31st?
By the 31st. And so the motion is to support the idea that all the responses to all the conditions will be addressed by the 31st, which is the target date, and the chair will oversee that. And also that said, we're supposed to submit it by the 31st. That doesn't necessarily put an end to the process. DESE will review that material and then may come back with additional questions.
Right. And you will have the opportunity in making this final report, the chair will have the opportunity to include any input from the parent surveys that are due back by next Tuesday?
Absolutely.
Okay. And when will the board receive copies of this report, these reports?
When will the board receive what?
When will the board get copies of these reports?
We have to worry about the public meeting laws regarding putting material out there. But what I would suggest is that when I submit it, I submit a copy to each board member. Then I don't violate any public meeting rules. We have to be really careful about this. It's
Okay, so.
than you might imagine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any more comments?
Just one additional clarification that all the materials that will be included in the report are materials that we as a board have reviewed as we have worked through the conditions of DESE.
Up until now. If nothing comes up, then we need to do that. But look, if something is highly critical in my view, I'll call another board meeting. My worry is if I call another board meeting and we don't make it during the season, not having a quorum. But that would be, I want to be completely transparent. So I'm not intending to overstep where I believe the board would be.
Some of this materials were just to rehash things that have already been submitted to the state. Some of it, again, are materials that were discussed either in board meetings or in executive session. The material that I just sent you was material that was presented to the board a month or two ago, and by myself and by Kathy. And so it's really
editorial mostly.
It's really just assembling and packaging that which is already known.
Yeah. It would be nice to see it in one place, though.
Yeah.
All right. Then, any more comment from anybody on the board? All right, then, let's move to the vote. All right, Gina, those in favour of the motion? Gina, yes?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay, Frank?
Yes.
Okay, me, yes. Iris, yes.
Yes.
And if Cynthia, Ann, or Greg's present, let me know. No, then it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, let's see. So transportation report, is this separate or the
next one is bylaws.
All right. Excuse me a second. We have a letter here to the Commissioner of Elementary and Secondary Education. Has it been sent to everybody?
Yes, and I'll summarize here again that the board voted, I don't know, it was a month ago, some time ago, to support the creation of new bylaws. And that was based on bylaws for another school that were approved and then edited modestly to reflect our school's priorities. There were additional changes that needed to be made. And so basically the version that was sent out to you this evening reflects edits that bring it into compliance with the contemporary requirements for bylaws. And again, there's a checklist, and we thought the checklist was satisfied because the checklist was satisfied with the older school, but we've come to understand that there are additional, that the requirements have evolved. And so the bylaws that you have now are essentially the same thing as what you approved before, except that it's been brought into compliance to have the latest citations and the rest. It also has, I think it specifies that if you have you can have one staff and trustee on the board. You can have one, I think it's lower administrative person as a trustee on the board. Before it didn't limit the number, and the number needs to be limited to make sure that that you end up having so many staff members that the board can't function because of the conflict of interest type stuff. And then the other issue was that the board had selected 12 members as trustees, and there was an interest in having an odd number, so that was modified to be 13. And so those were two substantive things. But The rest of it is all just edits to bring it into compliance with state requirements and the rest of it. And we're writing what's a formal request for the charter amendment that uses the text that's required by the state. That they have a template for what you do to request the modification of bylaws. And so this is using the template to formally request a change. It also allows for the state to come back and request additional edits, but it allows for a smooth process to make those, to put those in effect without necessarily having to have another board meeting. So the request is to do a formal charter amendment to request the state approve our updated bylaws.
Okay. Make a motion to accept and approve the letter.
I'd say the approved bylaws, the charter amendment to modify our bylaws, it needs to be the whole package, the letter and the bylaws.
Right. I was just going to include all the things that were in there: the letter, the bylaw revisions, and also the checklist, which I found to be very helpful.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Gina.
Thank you, Gina. All right, discussion. I hear none. Let's move to the vote. Okay, Gina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Charles, yes, and Iris.
Yes.
Has Cynthia or Greg subsequently joined us? In that case, the vote is unanimous. Thank you. There it is.
Trusteeship Committee.
All right, so Bylaws Charter Amendment. That's what we just done. Right? Okay, so Committee on Task Force and Reports.
Yeah, Trusteeship Committee.
Oh, that's, I've got it here, right. Trustee Committee, 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Solomon.
Frank here. I'm going to be making a proposal to Rich to start the advertising for recruitment after the new year. And I'll be sending an email out for our next meeting shortly after Christmas. Probably be in January at some point, middle of January. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, Finance Committee, Iris. Do you have anything for us?
Nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
No? Okay, fair enough. Personnel Committee.
Hi, everyone. The Personnel Committee has not met, but we plan to meet before the new year to continue a discussion that we started earlier regarding Principal Wang's evaluation process.
Okay, I've got it down here for a vote. Is that?
No vote today. No
There's
vote
no
today.
vote. Okay, good. The principal's update. Kathy.
Hi, everybody. How's,
Hey, Kathy.
happy December. I hope you can hear me. I have a printer going on behind me. I have only one item today, which is the, competency determination. So I need to, be made host to share the screen, please.
Got it.
Thank you. Can people see the screen? Yes. Okay. Just quickly, today is day 77 out of 180. We did have one snow day. The fall semester, which we call S1, semester 1 in Power School, ends on January 21st, which is day 90, if there's no more snow days. Friendly reminder, school calendar is on the website. It has links to the board meetings, the CPAC meetings, various different items. So moving right along, I know I need to go to my other screen. Hold on. There's my PowerPoint. Sorry about this. Competency determination, affectionately called CD. The background for this policy is that if you happen to vote in 2024, there was a question 2 that was to eliminate the 10th grade MCAS, the high school MCAS for ELA and math from the competency determination. So that passed. As a result, DESE has been working to revise all the requirements for the CD. The CD is one component of graduating from high school in Massachusetts from the public schools and public charter schools. This does not apply to private schools. So with the elimination of the 10th grade MCAS, the responsibility of determining the CD is now shifted from DESE at the state level to local districts. So literally every public school and public charter school creates their own competency determination policy that adheres to the state requirements. And so there are 2 main components to receive a high school diploma in Massachusetts. One is meeting the local graduation requirements, which I have a slide about that, and it's also in the policy. In high school, students have to earn credits. If they fail a course, they do not earn those credits, and then they have to do what's called credit recovery, which is essentially retaking that course. So we outline what courses are required, and we've always had local graduation requirements that exceed the state. The second component is meeting a standard of competency, which the state does have requirements on their website that all districts have to adhere to. And these were formally assessed with MCAS. So basically with the elimination of the MCAS 10th grade, they're asking districts to meet the minimum requirements. So in terms of implementation, beginning with the class of 26, which is the current senior class, all students must meet the graduation requirements and the new CD requirements. And so the document that you have is really describing the new CD requirements. So for English, it's a satisfactory completion of 1 year of 9th grade English language arts and 1 year of 10th grade English language arts. The state's requirement is that a student in high school complete 2 full years of English language arts. And so the titles here, 9th grade ELA and 10th grade ELA, are the course titles at our school. In math, it's satisfactory completion of 1 year of Algebra 1. And our school, they could, if they place into it in 8th grade, they could take that because our 8th grade Algebra 1 is a full year of high school algebra. Or they take it in 9th grade at our school. They also could achieve a passing grade on our high school. It's done the summer before 9th grade Algebra 1 placement test, so they could effectively go into geometry in 9th grade if they pass that. In addition to passing Algebra 1, 1 year of geometry is required to satisfy the math competency determination. That geometry class can be taken in 9th or 10th grade at PVCICS. Finally, for science, it's satisfactory completion of 1 year of 9th grade biology. And then starting with the class of 2027, U.S. history is going to be added to the requirement, and that's completion of 1 year of U.S. history. So those 4 bullets that you see are what we will be defining as the PVCICS competency determination. And so for students here, we will be reviewing, at the end of 10th grade, we'll be reviewing whether they've passed the requisite English, math, science, and then if it's next year for the class of 2027, whether they passed our U.S. history course. The last line here about local graduation requirements, there are no changes to those, and those are also on the policy outlined. Our requirements do exceed the state Mass Core, what are called Mass Core requirements, and those are on our website in the school profile. So the main difference that you should focus on is the 4 bullets, because that is new, and every public school district or public charter school has some variation of this. The The only difference you might see is the course titles that are listed. And for some of the very large districts where they have many different varieties of ninth grade English, for example, they'll list, 5 or 6 courses that a student could take to meet that ninth grade English. At our school, it's far simpler because we're significantly smaller than, say, even in Amherst, they have multiple versions of ninth grade English. For us, there is only one ninth grade English class, one 10th grade English class. So that's the nut of it. There is a website on the DESE website that goes into a lot more detail. But for next steps, I would appreciate a vote to approve the CD policy today. If approved, that is due to DESE. We have to upload it by December 31st. And that's all I have today for a presentation. I did like to close with a little picture of something in school. And so these are pictures of a couple of decorations we have in the main lobby. And happy winter and end of 2025 to everybody. Any questions?
Kathy, I'd like to emphasize once again that the competency determination is like very, very minimal. I almost hate putting PVCICS next to it. It's like, it should be the state competency determination because our graduation requirements go far beyond that.
Yeah, and that's a good point because I've gotten the question of, so do you still administer 10th grade MCAS? And the answer is yes, because it is still required for eligibility for 2 major state scholarships, the Abigail Adams Scholarship and the Coplick Scholarship. These are scholarships that if a student scores high enough on the 10th grade ELA and math, they can, if they opt to go to one of the state schools like a UMass Lowell, UMass Boston, and obviously UMass Amherst close by, it waives 8 semesters of tuition. And so, many students are financially conscious and they need the 10th grade MCAS to qualify for that scholarship. In addition, it is still required for the seal of biliteracy. So many of our students, because they want the seal of biliteracy, they need the MCAS ELA score. They don't need math. They need a proof of English proficiency for the seal of biliteracy. And then at our school, we do Chinese proficiency testing, and if they score high enough, so you need Chinese and English proficiency to get the seal of biliteracy in Chinese and English. We do have some students who have another home language, like a 3rd language. So Spanish. We just had somebody last year do Portuguese. We've had a French-speaking student. They earned an additional seal of biliteracy in their home language, and then because they had taken the MCAS 10th grade English, they were able to get a seal of biliteracy in English Chinese and like English French, for example. So we do support students if they want to try to take a language proficiency test that is not Chinese. So I would appreciate a motion to vote to approve the CD, and then I can submit that to DESE.
Motion to approve.
Second, Tina.
I think the chair has to call the vote.
Richard's muted.
Nick, you there?
He's back live.
All right. Oh, you can't hear me. All right, fair enough.
I'm gonna reclaim the host, Kathy, okay?
That's fine.
All right, let's do this again. Do I hear a proposal?
Yes, Frank.
Okay.
Gina.
All
I
right.
seconded, yeah.
Okay. A discussion? Nothing. All right. Let's go to the vote then. Gina.
Yes.
Okay. Mike.
Yes.
Frank.
Yes.
I say yes. Iris.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm assuming that Greg, Anne, and Cynthia are not present. Okay, it's unanimous. Okay then. Okay, Executive Director. Eventual Way update.
Excuse me.
Excuse him, he's got a cough.
I'll update a couple things. One is we're doing student recruitment right now. We're ahead of our last year's student recruitment, so we're doing very well. I think we're about 20% ahead of where we were last year at this point. In terms of 300 Venture Way, the renovation work is going along fine. Basically we're moving some walls to widen some corridors and some other things. And that the wall removal is done. There's some minor electrical work associated with that as well. That's getting done. And so that's moving along. I don't know when the work will be done. We'll have a permit, but the basic work is moving smoothly. And so hopefully in the next month or so, we can close it up. And that's really it. Well, I should say that financials are doing okay. Actually, the last month we have the numbers formally for our October, and I think we actually ran a deficit that month, but there are a lot of expenses that hit that month that are not representative, and so I'm expecting the numbers to recover significantly in November, and so we'll see what happens then. And that's about it. If anyone has any questions about anything in particular, I'd be glad to answer. I was very pleased to. I'm glad we've done the survey for transportation's gone out. Kathy and the staff did a presentation on the performance of the school for MCAS, sort of a review of the MCAS results for 2025, and also talked about our programs for supporting high need students that got into MTSS and special education. And so that, I think the presentation was very well done. And so that's about it.
Okay. Anybody got any comments?
No, don't comment about that. Sorry, no.
All right, fair enough. Any new business?
I just have a quick announcement. So some of you know I'm also volunteering with the Family Association's Lunar New Year planning for 2026. So I just wanted to let the board know that the Lunar New Year will happen. Our school Lunar New Year celebration will happen on February 26th. And I will give you more updates as we have them. I'll make sure the registration or tickets go out to the board as well. If you'd like to attend, if you'd like to help in any way, you can be in touch with me. That's it.
Do you know where you're going to hold the event and how many people?
It'll be at Hampshire College.
And how many people will we be able to support?
Over 600. So it's a big space. So we can hopefully accommodate everyone that would like to attend, which was the biggest obstacle with our Lunar New Year 2 years ago.
Okay, thank you. All right then. We now need to go into executive session.
Motion to adjourn the regular session.
All right, fair enough. Let me read the rules. A vote to enter executive session pursuant to MGLC 30A Section 21A1 discuss complaints or charges brought against a public officer or staff member, PVIC board and PVIC chair, one, and vote to enter executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of in general or special law approved of executive session meetings, the board will not return from to an open session at the conclusion of the executive session and will adjourn thereafter. And then we'd adjourn. All right. I need a vote to enter executive session. Gina.
Yes.
Okay. Mike.
Yes.
Frank.
Yes.
I say yes. Iris.
Yes.
Okay. And Cynthia and Greg are not present. Okay. Then that's unanimous. We'll go into executive session. All right. Then we
We need to ask the people who are not part of the board to please leave the meeting.